Hey there, Danny here. Welcome to my ramblings. We have finally made it with the RV to Oklahoma. Excuse my mess. I'm still getting organized. I rolled in yesterday morning, and I was so tired from everything that has happened the past few weeks that I literally crashed all day and all night. I woke up early this morning and started organizing and putting things away because if you know anything about traveling in an RV, everything that you have out for you to live has to be put in a cabinet or someplace else so it doesn't fall all over the place when you're driving. And yes, you do forget things at times. So, I will catch you up on what's been going on. So, you all know that I had struggled for 3 years, pulling myself out of the hole. I was struggling before then, but after my accident, I struggled. I was able to pay bills. I just couldn't cover them all the time. I had to ask for help here or there. Which, if I'm being truly honest, I'm one that struggles to ask for help. So it was kind of something, it was kind of a lesson I guess I needed to learn. And like I've said to you before, the man upstairs knows that he has to smack me upside the head to get me to actually listen. Redirect me. Anyways, so a few weeks back, I was notified that Mom 2, my second mother, was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer and that it had spread. And they didn't know how long she had. And I said, okay. So I was trying to get back here, and I didn't make it back here before she passed. Because, remember, I needed to get tires done on the RV and new batteries, which we got done. And then it came down to she had passed, and okay, that was on a Saturday, I think, that I was notified and told that the funeral was going to be the following week, on Friday. So Friday, I went ahead and was making sure that I could, not on Friday, I was making sure that I could get here by Friday. So I was rushing through everything, and I had the baby shower for my first grandchild that Saturday, along with having to get everything done on this thing so it was road ready so I could leave. Everything went as planned. It was crazy and chaotic. Tuesday got here. I was going to get emissions done on this and then go get it registered because it hasn't been run in 3 years. I got stuck in a parking lot with it not running. I couldn't get it started for nothing. So I have to call somebody, so I call an emergency roadside a mobile service that would come, that's for RVs. It's going to come and check out what's going on. So they sent the guy, and he tells me that my fuel pump's shot. That's what it is. Okay, so now I'm waiting for them to get me a cost. And they get me a cost of it, and then they get me a cost of what the towing's going to cost. And I'm sitting here thinking, I have to get to Oklahoma by Friday. I'm like, how is this happening? And then I'm like, you know what? Not a big deal. So I went ahead and I had them tow it. They said that they would have it done Friday morning. I said, well, I won't be here. I'll be back sometime next week, possibly Monday or Tuesday, but latest would be Thursday. They said, okay. So they towed my RV, and I went home and got my dogs prepared and set up and everything else, and left them with my son and my friend. And I loaded up a week's worth of stuff in my car and headed out to Oklahoma for the funeral. And I made it here. Wednesday sometime, and I made it for the funeral. And then Sunday I drove back to Arizona, and then I came out. Then I was going to get the RV and come back. So Sunday I'm heading out. The maps wanted to take me through Guymon, Oklahoma, which is the panhandle of the state. And I don't know. I can't take it that way if I'm in the RV, because I don't know if all the roads are okay enough to handle my RV. I mean, it's a big Class A, 31 feet. So I don't know. So I decide on Sunday when I'm heading back that I'm just going to take the Guyman Way so I can see what it's like in my car, and then I can make the determination. Because it's a few less miles, and it gets you off the interstate for a while, so it's not as crazy and hectic and nerve-wracking as it is on the internet, or on the interstate, sorry. So I go through Guyman, and I really liked it. And I'm like, okay, semis are all through here. There's a few little truck stops. They're small, but that doesn't matter. Okay, I can do this through the RV. When I say this was eventful, I'm not kidding. So I get back to Arizona. Before I left here, I went and bought myself, because I knew I didn't have a bed. My bed was in the RV. It was at a shop. I wasn't going to have it Sunday night. I thought I was going to be able to pick it up Monday morning. And so I stopped and picked up an air mattress because I just needed it for that night when I got to Arizona. I could sleep in the spare bedroom that doesn't have a bed or anything in it. So I could air up the mattress and sleep for the night. Next day I could go get the RV, and I could get the emissions done and everything else. And then Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, I could head out and I'd be right back here, was the plan. So I get back to Phoenix, Arizona, Peoria suburb of Phoenix, and I get there. Dogs are excited to see me. I'm excited to see them. I hate leaving them for extended periods of time. I always feel bad. And so I get there, and I get the bed set up, and we go to bed because I'm tired. So we go to bed. Wake up the next morning, and I call the RV repair place to see about the RV, and they said, "Oh, well, we haven't even started working on it." I'm like, "What? Okay, when can I expect it to be done?" And they said Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking, I know it's not going to be Tuesday because they told me Tuesday or Wednesday. It's more than likely going to be Wednesday. Okay, no big deal. Not the plans that I had, but a couple of days isn't going to kill anything. It's perfectly okay. I'm perfectly fine where I'm at for the moment. I can get other things that I need to get together. Like I wanted to pick up a styrofoam cooler, so I had a cooler in the RV while we were driving, so we could have some ice. Just little things that I wanted, so it was more convenient for the dogs and I when we traveled. So I utilized Tuesday and Wednesday to do that. And so I call Wednesday morning and ask them, so how's the RV coming along? And they tell me, oh, the part just came in this morning. We'll call you later and give you an ETA on when it's going to be ready. I'm like, okay. So after I hang up, I'm really not expecting to hear anything from them until Thursday. So I go about Wednesday and I'm like, okay, I really don't have a lot to do, so I'm just going to kind of chill out and take care of whatever I got to take care of and hang out with dogs for a little bit, a day off from anything. So that's what I did. Thursday came, or Wednesday, I shouldn't say, no, I got to back up here. Wednesday afternoon, late afternoon, like an hour before they're going to close, they call me and tell me that my RV's done and that I can pick it up now, and their they close at 4:45 and that they open at 7 in the morning. Okay, great. So I look at the clock and I'm like, there's no way, because I'm in the northwest side and they're down in like south central. So there's no chance during that time of day that I'm making it down there in time to be able to pick up the RV. So I'm like, all right, I'll pick it up Thursday morning. Now I know it's ready. So I get the RV back on Thursday morning. I go down there. My friend drives me down there, and we get to the address that I knew off the internet that it said where their place was. It's fully locked. It's in a really ghetto neighborhood. And I'm like, okay, I'm kind of concerned here. So I called, and they're like, well, come into the office. And I'm like, all the gates are locked. They're like, oh, you're at the wrong one. So they had to text me the right address, which thank God we didn't go down there Thursday, because there's no chance we would have made it to where they actually were, because they were on the east side. Not even in the central part. They were on the east side. Okay, great. So we drive down there. We pick up the RV. And I realize as I'm driving back home, because it's about a half an hour, 40-minute drive back to the house, and I realized my doghouse, and if you don't know what that is, in the inside of Class A RV, I'm assuming they have them in the Class C's too. It's a hood cover for the engine, and it protects the heat from the engine from coming into the RV. Mine is not locked. It keeps bouncing back. I can feel all of the engine heat. It's 110 degrees outside, and I can feel all of the engine heat coming. My feet were on fire as I was driving this home. So I get home and I said, okay, we got to figure this out. So we realized that whoever did the job, $2,800 later is what it cost me. That didn't include the tow. $2,800 later, and they bent. They did not know how to take the doghouse off. And instead of figuring it out by using YouTube or anything else to find out how it works, they just started bending and ripping it off. So all of the attachments that hold it on are all bent to shit. So we rationalize and we bend it back. It seems to be working at the moment in time. Okay, great. So I can't go do emissions because the service engine light's still on. So I have to do a drive cycle. So I look up what a drive cycle for a Winnebago is. And it's way more in depth than a car. So there's no chance that I'm going to be able to get this drive cycle done during the day. I'm going to have to wait until after dark when it dies down in the city so then I can actually run this cycle. So that's what I do. Thursday night, I go out with my friend. We run the drive cycle. Service engine light goes off. Great. Friday morning now I can go to the emissions and get tested. Everything now is going smoothly. Everything's good. Whatever. I'm happy at this point. Get to emissions. Pass everything. But I did not pass my gas cap. So now I have to run back to the auto store and get a gas cap. Let me just tell you, if you are driving a Winnebago and you go to an AutoZone or O'Reilly's, do not tell them that you are buying a part for Winnebago. Tell them the year of your RV and tell them the chassis and the engine. So I am on a F450 and it's a V10 Triton engine. So 6.8 liter, I think it said. So I know my engine and I know my chassis. So when I go in, they're like, what is it? I'm like, well, it's an RV, but it's this. And so they give me the gas cap for it. Great, I buy it. And I put it on. Now I have to drive back. Well, the first emission place I went to is very, very tight. And it took 2 people to help me get out of there. So he tells me, go over to the one at 5th Avenue and Deer Valley, North Phoenix, and theirs is much easier to get out for a large RV like this, which he was right. So I went over there. Benefit of being over there though, because the first one I had to wait 15-20 minutes to get in, and I have AC in the house of the RV, but I don't have it when I'm running the engine. That died shortly after I bought it, and I haven't fixed it yet. It's gonna get fixed though. So that's one of my projects. And so I got in, I got out. I passed the new gas cap on the way we went. So now I've got to get everything set up, and I've got to take the RV back to the house. I've got to pick up my car. I've got to go down to the MVD so I can pick up the current registration and get it all legal. Fine. So I do this. I get it all legal. You're supposed to mail me the sticker. It's okay. You can still go wherever you need to because you got this paper, and if anybody runs the plates, it's going to show up as legal. You just don't have the sticker yet. No big deal. Okay, great. So I set up plans to go and pick up the tow dolly. I'm supposed to pick it up Saturday. And I had some other things that I needed to take care of before I left. So I went to take care of those Saturday morning. While I am out and about in the RV, and while I went to do emissions, I discovered that the bouncing around that happens when you're driving down the road, the doghouse isn't staying shut. Even though we thought we bent it correctly. Son of a bitch. The dogs and I can't be in here without AC and having that engine heat on. And I'm not pulling over every hour or so just to put the thing back on. So I'm like, okay, got to figure out a plan for this. So Saturday comes, trying to figure out a plan for everything so I can get on the road, because I wanted to leave Saturday night so I would be here Sunday night. That didn't happen. So we came up with a plan that we would put the hood latches that come on, that you get for Jeeps. It was a universal hood latch. So we're gonna go get the universal hood latch, and we're gonna put it on. We're gonna have to drill holes and everything else to put it on so we can attach it. I really don't care, because most of the carpeting, I've been pulling out the flooring and everything, so I really don't care, because I'm redoing it anyways. So we have to drive. There's not a AutoZone or any other place that has the universal latches near me. So we've got to drive to the southwest side to go get it. So we drive down into the hood and get a couple of latches and some other things that we think we need. We get back home and we're struggling to get this. It's in an awkward spot. And so we finally get them done. It's like 10:30 at night, 11. It's really hot. So we've got to put my car on the tow dolly still. So we get to cut my car up on the tow dolly. So everything's done at this point, but I'm like, I need to sleep. I've been up since 6 a.m. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to sleep for a couple of hours, and then we'll get up extra early in the morning and we'll hit the road. I was supposed to get up at 3. That didn't happen. I didn't get up until, I think it was 4:30. No, it was 4:45. Now I have to load everything into the RV that was in the bedroom, and I have to move the dogs out here, and then we have to stop at a gas station so I can pick up ice. So we left. By the time I actually got on the freeway and was ready to leave, it was like 5:45. So the sun was coming up. It was already getting warm in Phoenix. And so I'm like, all right, we just got to make it up to Flagstaff. It'll be cooler up there. And it took us a while. We got up there. We made it. We made it all the way to 10 miles outside of Guyman is where I finally found a rest area that we could fit. There was a earlier Love's that had a RV spot, and I needed a pull through because I had the tow dolly with my car on the back. So I couldn't do one that I backed into because it just wasn't going to be long enough for how long I was. So when I got there, there were pull throughs, but when I pulled up to the one, it said that it was already reserved, so it wasn't available. So, okay, they didn't have any available. Okay, so we have to go back on the road. It's still light out. It's still kind of hot. So I'm like, all right, if I don't have the ability to hook up to power, we're not going to have any AC. I'm not stopping and making us sweat this out. Going down the freeway is really not that big of a deal because the windows are open. Excuse me, the windows are open, vents are open, and the wind's coming through, so it's comfortable. Not ideal, but comfortable. So we keep going down the road, and as we're going, every place that we come upon is full. There's like no space for us to fit. And I'm like, oh. And I know from 2022 when I was able to start doing traveling, I knew that you had to get to a place to rest at around before 8:30, 9 o'clock because it fills up quick. Well, when I started to go through the small towns to get to, because I went through part of northeast New Mexico, and then a small part of Texas, and then into the Panhandle, and so I knew that when we got into the smaller areas, it was going to be smaller truck stops. What I didn't know though was that those people usually rest later. So I actually found one 10 miles west of Guyman. So we ended up pulling in, sleeping for the night, woke up the next morning at like 5 in the morning. I think we pulled in it had to be about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. So it was a long day. And so we're in the truck stop, we're sleeping. I have the windows open because it's cool enough there. I think it got into the 60s, so it was perfectly cool for us. We didn't need the AC on. So we're cool. Excuse me for a minute. So we're cool. We're comfortable. We're resting. First night I've gotten to sleep in my RV in 2 weeks. Loving every minute of it. Had the alarm set for 4. Didn't get up until 5. Had to take the dogs out, get gas, get myself ready, make my coffee, everything else that we needed so we could hit the road. So we do all this stuff and we hit the road. Now, we only have a little over 4.5 hours to make the rest of the drive. No big deal. We got a full tank of gas. We're probably going to have to fill up one more time before we get there. Because I don't like letting the gas tank get below half. There's a few times that I've had to let it because I didn't guess just right, but it's not a big deal. I don't like letting it get below half. So, as we're driving down, all of a sudden the driver's side, it gets really bumpy. Now, when I took it through with the car, the areas that were really bumpy did not feel really bumpy in the car. Didn't put this into mental note that some of these roads I needed to watch a little bit more clearly. So it's nothing but bump, 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 bump. And there's all this noise. And my driver's side mirror, for some reason, kept bouncing out, so I couldn't use it. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I found these little pull-throughs. They were like picnic areas. And I would pull over, and I would get out, and I would tighten the little screw that was in there, and it would be fine. And I'd take the dogs out, and then we'd hit back on the road, and I would do it again. And I'm like, what the hell? I thought I tightened it down enough. So I get out and I tighten it down, and I'm like, this is tight as I can get it. It can't go any tighter. I'm like, what the hell? Get back in the RV, and I look up at the TV. There's a TV in the center. So above the dashboard, there's a TV in the center, and it housed a old tubed television. That's not what was up there, though. And it's got two glass cabinets on each side. It's a very pretty area. But this TV, I knew, was starting to the way that they had it up there, they had it on some bracket, and then they had like silicone at the top. Well, the silicone had broken loose from sitting for so long, especially in the heat in Arizona. So I knew it was going to come out at some point, but I did not know this. I look up at it, and I'm like, does that look a little crooked? And I'm like, no, I'm just seeing things. I'm tired, mind you. So I start driving, and we start going down the washboard road again, and I look up. It wasn't really washboard, but that's what it felt like at the time. I look up, and I realize that the whole right side of the TV is literally resting on the little shelf underneath it. That it's not even attached to the wall anymore. There's only one, the left side is still attached. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, God, let me make it to it. Let me find a pull off real quick so this doesn't fall, because the dogs are laying right in front of the doghouse, right next to me. They lay next to me. I mean, they move around as we're driving. Sometimes they'll be on the couch, sometimes they'll be in the bed, but majority of the time they're right there by me, and that's where they were. So I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, I can't have this TV fall on my dogs and hurt them. I'm like, please let me find a spot. So I slow down. We're doing like 40, 45. I'm sure I'm pissing all of the people off behind me because the speed limit was like 60, 65. But I didn't care. I wasn't going to have my dogs hurt. So I'm like sitting here with my hand up, and I'm like driving. I'm like, come on, get me to a place. Finally, I find a place to pull off. So I pull off, put it in park, hit the emergency brake, shut off the engine, and I get up, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, there are 4 holes. 3 holes are empty. There's nothing there holding anything on. Just this one that is holding it. And I'm like, how do I get this off? I'm like, there's no way that I don't even know how to get into the area so I can get this off. And I'm thinking, I gotta figure it out. And so I'm sitting there and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I am 45 minutes away from my dad's house. I'm like, are you kidding me? I just want to get there and not have to be doing this stuff anymore. This has been one hurdle after the next. So I'm like, screw this. So I grab the TV, and I stick my foot, I brace one foot behind me, and I put one against the dashboard, and I pulled as hard as I could. It took me 3 or 4 tries, but I finally yanked that thing right out of there. And broke the bracket on the back, which was perfectly fine because I really didn't care. TV goes back into the bedroom for the time being until we get to where we need to go. And okay, we're good to go. So as I'm driving, I'm realizing all the noise and the pain in the ass part about driving this anywhere is gone now that the TV's not up there. I'm like, this whole damn time it was that, who the hell installed this TV? They did a shitty ass job. I don't know who you are, but you did a shitty ass job. So I'm sitting there thinking, I didn't want the TV up there anyways. I have always talked about moving it to a different area because if you sat on the couch, you literally had to turn like this to watch TV. It was not comfortable at all. So as I'm driving, I look up at the spot because it's like right here from where I'm driving, and I'm like, I could turn that little thing into a little chalkboard and put some hinges on it and make it a little, extra storage space, cabinetry. I'm like, oh, okay, I like that idea. That's what I'll do. So this is the plan for it. Anyways, we roll in here, and I went in. Oh, I had to return the tow dolly to U-Haul. So I didn't want to make my dad do it because he's got the COPD and he just lost his wife and everything else. Him and I don't have the upper muscle strength to move this, and I don't want to have him do it. So I go inside Dad's house and I'm like, can I hook up to the electricity now? And he's like, yeah, no problem. And I said, can you see if, I was thinking maybe if Brad, because Brad's right next door. I said, could you see if maybe Brad could come over here? I'll give him $50 if he'll help me take this U-Haul back. I said he's going to have to move it off the RV and onto one of the trucks and help me take it back and then drop me and take me to an ATM so I can get him his money. And he's like, oh, okay, I'll call him and see. He gets voicemail. He says, Brad, get over here immediately. Like he's mad. So we come outside, and I'm hooking up all my stuff for my electricity. I didn't set up the water yet. I really didn't care. I just wanted to have the AC on for the dogs and I, because I knew I wanted to take a nap. I was dead tired. I finally made it home where I wanted to be. So Dad comes out, and I said, it's not staying in the plug. He goes, oh, I got it. I'll fix it. Don't worry. I'll take care of it. So he comes out, and he's fixing it. And Brad comes, all of a sudden, I come into the RV to close the windows and everything and find out, and I left one open and found out, okay, it's good. So I went to turn the AC back on, and it didn't come. It popped on for a minute, and then it shut off. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And so I go back outside by Dad, and I'm like, is it still plugged in? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, what are the lights on the surge protector say? And he's like, I don't see lights. And I'm like, all right. So I climbed over there and I saw the lights. Everything was good. And all of a sudden there's Brad. He's like, what did you need? And he brought some tool or something over for my dad, if my dad wanted it. And I said, I wanted to know if you wanted to make a quick $50 by doing me a small favor. And he's like, yeah, what is it? And I said, well, I need to return this to U-Haul. I said, and I just wanted to know if I paid you $50, would you take it off the RV and put it onto your truck and then take it down to Rick's service? And Dad's like, oh no, we had to take it to Tonkawa. I'm like, yeah, but Rick's service does it now. And then Brad told us, yeah, he did it. He stopped doing it for a while and then he took it back up doing it. So, okay, whatever. We can take it in town. We don't have to go down to Tonkawa. And Brad's like, sure, no problem. So we get my car off it. Everything's good. He moves all the stuff over. I ride with him down. We have a nice conversation. We return the U-Haul. We come back. We're having a conversation. It was a great time. I gave him the money. And it wasn't a pain in the ass whatsoever. It was a lovely time being back home. So, at this point, I went in by Dad for a little bit. And then I said, I'm tired, I'm going to go take a nap. I did not expect to stay asleep all day and all night. But I did. I woke up a couple of times. My dogs don't really bark. Little girl might bark a little bit more over little things. Mira really doesn't bark. She whines when she wants something. If she barks, I know that I need to go check something out because she doesn't really bark. So she woke me up a couple times, a few times last night and yesterday to take her out. And that's what we did. I took her out and then we came right back in and I was like out like that again. So I slept all day and all night, which evidently I needed. And I woke up as the sun was coming up and we started organizing the RV slowly but surely. The front half is almost all done. I'm still the couch and that front up there is fine. The kitchen area and back has not been. This is all still needing to get finished. But I had a phone meeting earlier today, and then I chatted with a friend of mine, and I had some things that I had to do on the computer, and then I had to go shopping because I needed a few things, so I could put up my front curtains so I could block out some of the sun. I don't have to have it's so dark in here anymore because I'm not hiding from people. When I was in Arizona, the rules, some neighbor, somebody, I don't know who it was, I still think the code enforcement guy is like the BTK killer, Dennis Rader, stalking that house. Anyways, supposedly somebody kept complaining that I was living in the backyard in the RV. Nosy neighbors, if you're a nosy person, get a hobby, because you're not doing God's work. You are the devil's hands. You do understand that. So if you're nosy, get a life. So anyways, so it was constantly a battle. So I constantly had everything in my windows so they would be blacked out so people wouldn't see that I was in it, especially at night. So it was a dark existence, which is kind of depressing. And here, I don't have to do that. I don't have to hide from anything. My dad has like 2 acres here in the country. So I'm perfectly fine where I'm at. It's great. It's peaceful, it's quiet. And the added bonus this morning that was so wonderful, it was such a great little blessing, was it was cool enough this morning. I woke up and the AC wasn't running. So my automatic instinct is, oh my God, the breaker popped again like it had happened before. In previous videos, I've explained that and what happened. So I get up and I'm like, nothing's wrong. So I check the thermostat and I realized that it's already at temperature. It's already set at the room temperature and it's cooler in here than what that's at. So it doesn't need to go on. It's perfectly fine. So I'm like, oh, okay. Not used to this, but loving it. So I get up, take the dogs out, and realize there's a nice cool breeze out there. And so I open the windows up. I shut off the AC and I open the windows up and I just let that wind just come through. The fresh air coming through the RV was like the best blessing in the morning, so, after all the craziness. And I sat here with my coffee. Before I started cleaning, I sat here because my chairs, I got captain's chairs in the front of the RV and they spin around so you can use them as seats when you're not driving. And so I had the passenger seat turned around. I was sitting over there with my coffee and I was just scrolling through looking at stuff. And as I was looking around at the stuff in the RV and where I wanted to put things and how I wanted to organize everything, I started to think to myself, the last few weeks have been nothing but hurdle after hurdle after hurdle. And then I looked up to heaven and I said, thank you. Because what he showed me the last few weeks is how much I've grown in the last 6 years of working on myself. The old me 6 years ago would have gone down the rabbit hole of everything goes wrong in my life. How come nothing goes right? 6 years ago, everything that happened the last few weeks would have spiraled me into a state of depression and kept me stuck and trapped. But that didn't happen. This time, every time a hurdle came, I didn't see it as a mountain or a giant obstacle. I literally saw it as a hurdle. And I jumped it. And then when the next one came, I jumped it. And I didn't look back. I didn't think, okay, I just passed that hurdle. Shit, here's another one. Those thoughts did not run through my mind like they would before. Instead, I jumped the hurdle. All right, we made one. Oop, here's another one. Let's jump this. Oh, here's another one. Let's jump this. Each hurdle may have made me have to wait a little longer. Then I got to the end. When I went to pick up my tow dolly, the reason it was a blessing in disguise is that the RV wasn't ready, was because the day I went to pick up my tow dolly, the way that the U-Haul place is set up, I could go in one way and out the other. There is no chance that with the tow dolly on the back that I have any space to maneuver at whatsoever in this big thing. So I have to go out the back way. Well, there's a gentleman that had a full-size diesel pickup truck with extended bed and cab and this gigantic flatbed trailer. And he's loading up boxes and containers and everything else. And I'm like, oh God. He comes out 2 or 3 times. He sees me sitting there. So I got the engine shut off on the RV. Excuse me. I got the emergency brake. And I'm like, okay, I can't get mad at the guy. I'm hot. He's got to be hot too. He's actually doing something physical. I'm not. So I thought, okay, so I grabbed my purse and my keys. Dogs weren't with me yet. They were still at home because I was just coming to pick up the tow dolly. I filled up the tank and then got the tow dolly. That's when I discovered that the latches are not going to hold. We need something else. So I walk into the U-Haul office and I said, do you guys sell water? And they're like, no, Circle K is next door. I said, okay, well, there's a guy in a truck that's loading a trailer. I said, I can't get through. I said, so I'm just letting you know because I'm going to go over and get some water at the Circle K. And they're like, oh, okay. And one of the other girls that was behind the counter said, he's been out there on and off all day. And I'm like, oh, thank you, ladies. And I walked out. And I walked over to the Circle K, and I'm thinking, if he's been there all day, he's got to be frustrated, and he's got to be hot. So I went and bought us really big freaking Smart Water bottles, him and I. And I decided that I was going to walk over there and see if he wanted help. So I put my purse in the RV, I locked the door, I put the keys in my pocket, I walk over with the 2 bottles, and I'm standing inside the doors. I don't know where his storage unit is, and I'm not chasing it around. He's going to come to the door anyways at some point when he's got the cart full. So I hear him coming. He comes around the corner and his eyes get really big and he looks at me and I'm like, hey, I brought you a bottle of water. I said, and I'd like to offer you my services. I said, can I help you load everything up that you need to so you can get going? And he just looks at me and he's like, what? And I'm like, well, I was hot and thirsty, so I thought you must be too. I said, and you have to get stuff done so you can leave. I said, and I have to wait for you. I said, so why don't I just help you so we can get it done quicker? And he just looked at me and he goes, are you serious? And I'm like, well, yeah. And he's like, well, you don't have to do that. I'm like, but I want to. I'm offering you my services so we can get this done. It's too hot. You don't have to do it all by yourself. He's like, well, I can't ask you to do that. And I'm like, you didn't ask me to do it. And he says to me, somehow we ended up on a conversation about me living in the RV and the lifestyle that I'm living and what he does for a living. He does events for corporations, him and some friends, on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. And then life hit him, and he was stuck doing what he was doing that day. And he told me, which is the best compliment you can get is from a stranger, that he told me that I restored his faith in humankind because he didn't think there were any kind, nice people left out there. He says, and then I came along. So, man upstairs knew that somebody was in need of ice cold water, a smile, and great conversation. So he made sure to put me in the place that it needed to be because he knew that I would do it. So we had a nice conversation and he said, well, I can just move it real quick and let you through. So we did. We had a nice conversation. Then we honked and we waved and said goodbye. And that night I didn't get to leave, but I did Sunday. So my postponement came because the man upstairs needed to use me to remind a fellow human being that there's still kind and compassionate people out there. So all of the hurdles, at the time, I was just jumping them. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just going with the flow. We're jumping them. All right, we jumped that one. That one's done. Oh, next one. Oh, next one. And sitting here this morning, having the beautiful breeze come through the windows and just fresh air, and the dogs are all chill, and I'm sitting there drinking my coffee, and I'm realizing that I've been living my dream the last 4 years. just not to the extent that I wanted. I have been living my dream for the last 4 years. I haven't been able to travel the last 3, but that's okay. I was still living it. And the truth is, I needed to see myself grow. I needed to have more faith in myself. And these last couple weeks, these last few weeks that all these hurdles have happened, I really looked over that while I sat here this morning, and I realized how much I've grown. It's amazing. And I had a beautiful long conversation with my girl Jen. We hold each other up and we cheer each other on, and we are brutally, well, I shouldn't say brutally, we are gently honest when we need to be with each other. There's no bullshit that goes on. It's reality. And so we had a nice conversation today, and I realized that I'm already living in my dream, and it's onwards and upwards from here. So if you see this, Brad, thank you. I love and adore you truly. I don't know if, Dad, you watch this, but if you do, thank you. I always love and truly adore you. So now it's on to bigger and greater things. As life keeps progressing, you will see a lot more of what I'm planning on doing. But I just wanted to give you a heads up on where we're at, and that we are traveling and that everything is going great. And we are in the process. I'm going to get finished. We're going to turn these into chalkboards too. That's going to be chalkboard, and then that's going to be chalkboard up there. And then these walls, this is going to get a backsplash of white tile, it looks like. I already have them. I just haven't put them up yet. And then the rest of it's going to get paint that I need to get done. And we're going to be ready to rock and roll. And these are all things that I can do as I'm traveling. Little bits and pieces. I don't have to rush anymore to get caught up. Now that I'm all caught up, it's actually a great place to be. It's taken me a minute to get here. 3 long years. It's taken me to dig out of the hole. Actually longer than that, because I had to dig out of the hole after my mother passed. She's been gone 5 years. My biological mother. So yeah, it's been a hell of a ride. A hell of a ride, and I have absolutely no regrets. So if you're not living your dream, why aren't you? What's stopping you? Are you trying to keep up with the Joneses? Because the truth is, the Joneses really don't care. They're just as much in debt as you are. They're just not telling you that. And the truth is, I like my life of freedom. It was nice traveling because I don't have to worry. When the hurdles came, I didn't have to go, oh my God, I only have this time before I have to be back to work, or oh my God, I only have this time before I have to do this. I wasn't on a set schedule. So the hurdles came, it wasn't that big of a deal. And yes, as you can see, I'm growing it out again. I'm just tired of dyeing it. We'll probably go back to dyeing it at some point, but that's the joy of being in your 50s. Saying, I don't give a fuck. This is my life. So we'll be here for a few more weeks, and then we'll be heading back to the Great Desert again in a few weeks, because my first grandchild is going to be born. So I'm going to go back there, and I'm going to be there for her birth and help them get settled into their little routine. And once they're okay, then I'll be back out here and spending Thanksgiving and my dad's birthday with him. And then in December, I'll head back out to Phoenix to stay there for the winter, because I am done doing the cold or the hot. And although it is hot here in Arizona, I think today hit 102. Really, it's not that big of a deal. When I left Phoenix, it was 114. Today in Phoenix was supposed to be 116, so I think we're okay at 102. And this isn't staying around very long. So here's to dreams. Live your dream. Screw what other people tell you have to do. The American dream is not based off of necessarily owning a home. The American dream is the freedom to choose what your dream is as an American. What's your dream as an American? Mine is to travel around, meet new people, spread the kindness, compassion, and love. Anyways, guys, have a great day. I'll see you in a day or two. I'm back. Love ya. Bye.